Cheers everybody, welcome back to the channel here. This is your host Oliver Nye with Big Bass Dreams. Just got back from Birmingham, Alabama in the Bassmaster Classic Expo. Just want to first and foremost thank every single person that came by the Megabass booth, the people that stopped us walking through the show, and even some of the guys you ran into downtown and such. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us at the booth. The entire team had a blast from day one with my little incognito terrible impersonation of our teammate Mr. Chris Zaldane, who had a solid finish at the Bassmaster Classic. So big congrats to Chris. Little known fact is he was on a really solid pattern, big bait, big fish. Conditions changed, and unfortunately, even though he showed a lot of heart and went out there with just 4 rods the first day, that big bait, big fish bite is very fickle. It's not easy to execute on in a big event. But as you guys may have heard, Mr. Hank Cherry, big congratulations to him, was fishing one of these variations of baits here. And we'll get to talking about that a little bit shortly. But in the meantime, I want to do a quick little mail call with you guys with a couple of items that I picked up from the Bassmaster Classic Expo. And a quick reminder, if you guys haven't subscribed to my own personal YouTube channel by now, please do so. I have a pretty dope podcast that I shot with our man Parker Wright, aka Paka, on the gram while we were traveling to the Birmingham Classic Expo. So that was actually the first time I got to hang out with Parker in person and really have some in-depth conversations and just get to know him as another member of our strong Megabass team. So make sure you tune into the channel over there. That video is going to be dropping this week if I can get to it. In the meantime, we're going to do a little mail call. And all of these items here that I'm going to show you today are available from our man Ben at the Hookup. So make sure to continue to support my man there. But I couldn't go to the Classic Expo and not come back with some goodies. Alright. And man, so many of you guys gave me feedback about how much you enjoy the mail calls. And I wish I got that kind of feedback about some of the other stuff that we do, but I'm not going to fight the current anymore. So while I was at the show, I made sure to restock on one of my favorite baits. That's the Vision 110+1. All of a sudden, everybody's on that hype train. But this has been one of my consistent producers year in, year out. Regardless of the season, I was low on the sexy French pearl color. If you guys haven't noticed, here in California, I went from bright bluebird skies when I flew in, and we've got a pretty major front moving in on us now. So expecting some rain tonight, solid rain all day tomorrow if I can get out on the water and do some scouting. I got my mans Rico and Travis out on the water this week. But it's going to be low light conditions, rain, wind, ugly. Sexy French pearl is most likely going to play a factor in our fishing this week here in Southern California. And as you guys just saw from the Classic, it's going to play a factor all over the country. In case you guys are new to the jerkbait stuff, the +1 does indeed dive a little bit deeper than the standard, all factors being the same. 110 is going to dive somewhere in the 6-foot range. The +1 will be in the 9-foot range. But this is a very versatile bait. We've talked about it before in the past. You can throw it shallow, rip the rod up instead of downward to keep it from diving. A little bit different action than the standard 110. Much more erratic, much more horizontal travel, and you got the added benefit of a little bit deeper range as well. So picked up some of those. My rule of 3s and 4s still applies, especially with the way that fish have been cracking these baits. I got my standard bait we'll be fishing. I got a backup for him in case we break the bait or bust it off, and then we got a backup for the backup, and there's gonna be 2 or 3 of us fishing the whole time. So I have a strong inclination that we're going to be catching quite a bit of fish on this bait in particular. So in the case that all three of us want to throw the money bait, I got it. All right, so that's item number 1. Okay, item number 2, brand new for 2020. This is the new 110 Max LBO. All right, this is in the almighty HT Ito Tennessee shad. Talked about this color pattern in the previous mail call video, but this is also a great low light, low visibility color for me. So I made sure to grab 4 of these bad boys for the same reasons that I have 3 or 4 of those +1s. Okay, all you 110 Magnum fans out there should rejoice, because although the 110 Magnum has been discontinued, I feel like this is definitely going to be an improvement with that LBO 2 system in there. You're going to have the nice big profile of this thing. See what the specs are. You're looking at 135 millimeters and 3/4 ounce. That's going to be quite a bit bigger in the range of your standard 110. Here's a size comparison there of another 110+1. All right, so those of you guys that want to match a hatch when there's bigger bait fish around, like hitch or big shiners or what have you, or you just want to appeal to a larger class of fish, 110 Max LBO is going to be a solid option for you. The previous generation of the 110 Magnum had a fixed balancer system, similar to the way the 110 Silent does. So Silent, however, without benefits of the balancer ball system, can be a little bit trickier to cast. So now you got that LBO 2 system. That is an abbreviation or acronym for linear bearing oscillator. And you can maybe see in here through the transparent body, there's a shaft there or a tube. It holds the LBO system, okay, and it's got magnets on the front end. So when you go to cast, that magnet's so strong. When you go to cast, that weight will disengage, move to the tail of the bait, and now you can fire this thing with confidence into headwinds, crosswind, whatever. It's gonna cast, it's gonna fly. And then once you commence fishing the bait and start ripping it, it locks it into position in the front there. So it's gonna stay relatively quiet. So much of the same kind of finesse. You guys hear that? A little bit of sound, but much more subtle than the old balancer ball systems. Kind of the best of both worlds. All right, so I got 4 of those in the HT Tennessee shad, and then I got one of my other favorite colors here, and this is in case we get some more visibility and clarity. Some of this cloud cover may burn off sometime during the week. This is one of my absolute favorite patterns. This is the HT Ito Wagasaki. Okay, it's kind of just a general bait fish imitator. This is a bait that I catch fish on everywhere I go. It's got that hint of purple. Big fan of purple in my baits, if you guys haven't noticed by now. Nice pearl belly, little translucency here on the sides, some gold on the face, goldish brown on the back. Just catches them. And Mr. Parker Wright told me that he thought that that was a pretty effective hitch simulator. Didn't even consider that, to be honest, even though I've caught them pretty good up there on Clear Lake on this bad boy too. So excited to have that bigger profile, because we will be heading up north to Clear Lake in the coming weeks. Gonna do some fishing up north, and hopefully get Mr. Rafael Rossi on the boat and a couple of my other NorCal boys. Get some podcasts, get some fish catching action, and knock that out of the park. You know what else I picked up? Had to swing by the Daiwa booth, say what's up to all the teammates down there at Daiwa. Saw Mr. Brent Erler, Cody Meyer was down there. Hammers. All the guys from the marketing department, Salesforce, and I got myself one of those brand new Tatula Elites. This is a 6.3 to 1 gear ratio, all blacked out. Sick, sick, sick. Daiwa's famous magnetic cast control system. You know, I've been fishing the Tatulas again for the past several weeks, and especially with a bait like the silent 110s with that fixed balancer ball, I've really come to appreciate how well these Daiwa casting reels will fire off a lighter, more difficult lure to cast. The casting ability is unparalleled, all the way even up to the Alexa HD series. Been able to really put baits out far from the boat. The water at one of my home lakes has been abnormally clear thus far this year, so those long casts have been pretty instrumental in getting bit. This 6.3 gear ratio is gonna be put to work. Square bills, spinner bait, robin blade, other vibrating jig baits. You know, baits that have a little bit more drag. Maybe not quite the drag of a deep diving crankbait like a DX Free 3.0 or a Deep X 300 or Deep 6. Something like an S crank, Sonic Side, that new over rev crank, things of that nature, or a spinner bait. Things that I don't really necessarily want to smoke. That's gonna look really good mounted on one of the rods. Gonna be doing quite a bit of tackle prep this week. So excited for that Tatula Elite. And I also have one of the new Tatula SVs. It's gonna be fun familiarizing myself with these lines of reels to be able to share with you guys here. I've heard some incredible feedback about that T-wing system, and so far so good. There's no insert to pop out and deal with. Casting distance has not been an issue with any of these Daiwa casting reels. So I'm really pumped to see how these things continue to perform. And I got an 8 to 1 gear ratio here, and I'm going to use an 8 to 1 for anything that I'm actually manipulating with a rod versus the reel. Okay, that includes bottom contact baits, casting jigs, Carolina rig, Texas rig, weightless worm like a dot crawler, gosh, even a jerkbait, because really I'm not actually incorporating action into the jerkbait with the reel itself. All I'm doing is picking up slack. So anything that I'm actually manipulating with the rod, I want to be able to pick up that slack quickly, whether it's to move that bait again like when I'm fishing a jerkbait, or if I'm actually manipulating a bottom bait like even a dark sleeper at times when I'm fishing it slow and actually using the rod to incorporate life and action into my bait. I want to be able to pick up that slack quickly so I can set the hook. So that 8 to 1 gear ratio is going to do exactly that. Instantly pick up that slack, crack, and we're going to drive that hook home. So big shout out to my boys at Daiwa. These are all available through Ben at the Hookup, so click on the links below. Make sure you guys support him. He's one of the nicest guys that we know in the industry. I wish everybody, I could say the same about everybody in the game, but it's just not true. And he directly supports what we do here at Big Bass Dreams. So make sure you guys buy from him whenever you guys get the opportunity. All right, now let's talk a little bit about these guys. Obviously been a little bit of attention here the last 72 hours or so, and for good reason. One of the biggest events in all of bass fishing was just one on stain reaction orange belly in a +1. So once again, congrats to Mr. Hank Cherry. I honestly doubt that there's going to be enough stock to fulfill the needs of the many. Everybody wants that winning bait as part of their tackle box and their repertoire and their arsenal. And good on the ones that were on it quick enough or before this big event. But don't fret if they're sold out for a while, because I'm anticipating demand exceeding supply. But there are quite a few variations of the bait. I actually have a stain reaction orange belly here in a +2. Okay, this is a +1 and just stain reaction non-orange belly. We've also got sexy French pearl here in a +2. We've also got sexy French pearl orange belly in a +1. Then I've also got stain reaction here in a 110 silent, as well as a +1. To be honest, I'm probably gonna pick one variation of this bait color-wise or another without too much thought about the orange belly in most situations. Those of you guys that have been following my adventures the last couple years understand how much I do love the color white. It's just an effective pattern, as you guys saw once again this weekend. Okay, and it's nice to have different variations of it, including the orange belly. But if you can get your hands on a stain reaction without the orange belly, or a French pearl, something close, I'm gonna guess that you're still gonna find some success. So it's an interesting topic of discussion that we've been having the last few days with some hammer fishermen. And some of these guys that I know actually don't have that much confidence in a white jerkbait. If you want to see the white jerkbait in action, go ahead and click this video up here at the top. We'll include it in the description as well. But white is just a great color. It's very loud in the certain scenarios, but subtle at the same time. It's a unique color. Oh gosh, I got stain reaction everywhere. Oh no, not in the J's. Come on, man. So white in all of these forms is effective in a multitude of conditions. Probably one of the more versatile patterns, especially the GP patterns in clear water, solid patterns in dirty water, low vis. Get your hands on some of those. Orange belly or not. Throw them, get them wet, rip them around, figure out that rhythm and cadence, have fun with it. I feel pretty confident you guys will be able to figure out a good bite, whether or not you can get your hands on the hottest commodity in bass fishing at the time or not. All right, a couple other items that we got that I'm excited to show you guys is this new windbreaker from Big Bass Dreams. Literally just got these in this week. Nice light jacket. Perfect for these spring days, cutting through the wind when some of our pullovers with the heavier 10 ounce might seem a little bit heavy. All right, and this is also a new item. Army green camo hoodie to match our super popular and sold out joggers. Trying to work on getting a restock on the joggers for you guys soon. So shout out to everybody at the show that came by that I was at, that was actually rocking Big Bass Dreams merch. That's a very strong way for you guys to support what we do directly. So thank you guys. So people were able to score these special collaborative hats at the booth as well. So word on the street is Mr. Ben from the Hookup wants the leftover inventory. So if you guys want to see it and get it from Ben, make sure to send him a message on Instagram, or call the shop, or email him, or what have you. Let him know that you want the shirts. Oh, I'm sorry. Let him know that you want to get your hands on the collaborative hats and even the collaborative Big Bass Dreams Megabass Dream Vatalion shirt. Super sick. Great color red. New favorite of mine. Expect to see more content with the Vatalion in both the standard size and that 190 as we enter the spring season and fish start aggregating near crappie and red ear and bluegill. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, leave a comment below. Were you guys at the Classic? What was your favorite part of it? Those of you guys that haven't been to the Classic, man, you guys should really make an effort to come out. It's a unique event. It's the biggest bass fishing show, I think, in the United States. And you get all the greatest people in the sport and all the greatest fans in all of sports, I think, because that passion for fishing is off the chain when we're out there. So shout out to all you guys once again that came by and took a picture with me, said hello, shook hands. We had lots of hand sanitizer going to stay free of any epidemics. Tired, just got home today, but so glad I made the trip out there. Looking forward to the next event, but it's time for your boy here to do some fishing. We're gonna be out there putting in work over the next few weeks here. These fish are just moving. Today is the day of the full moon, so I'm sure there's a big push of fish up and down California and throughout that southern belt of the United States. Get out there. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys here on the Big Bass Dreams channel and my channel as well, so don't forget to subscribe to my new channel there, and we'll catch you guys later. I'm going fishing. Peace.
In search for directions, my thoughts reflecting.